Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to go through each of my leopard geckos and name my favorite things about them. And I'm actually going to include my African fat-tail geckos and my Chinese cave gecko Nymeria at the end of this as well, just so that they can be included, because I don't want to make a video about just them. It'd be really short, so I'll just include them in this one. But just know that like the title's gonna say leopard geckos, but it's also gonna have a couple extras at the end that are not leopard geckos. Okay. Also, this is an order of when I got them as well. So like it'll start with Fritz and go all the way to Meraxes. So first and foremost, Fritz. Fritz is my first leopard gecko ever. I got him in July. Actually, it was July 1st, 2015. So the thing I like about Fritz is his consistency. Fritz is consistent in his sleeping habits, in his eating habits, in his temperament. He's just like an easy gecko, and I really like that about him. You always know what to expect from him, you know? With Renly, my favorite thing is like her activity. She climbs on everything. Literally, like the time I brought her home, she climbed up this tree and then climbed across the screen top in her 10-gallon enclosure she was in at the time. Like she climbed across the top. Like I was shook. I was like, girl, like, I've never seen a leopard gecko do this. And to this day, she climbs the plants in her enclosure. She just likes being high up. She wants to be tall, you know? Also, she has like the most big, beautiful, gorgeous, galactic looking eyes. My favorite thing about Aemon is that she has a gorgeous purple tail. Like, it's so pretty. And also that when she poops, she likes to poop up high. So she'll like climb up on top of a hammock, climb up on top of her driftwood, and she'll poop up there instead of on the ground, which I find so funny. My favorite thing about Brienne is that she has an absolutely wild energy. Like, she is just, I swear, she looks like she just came right from the wild instead of being in captivity and her generations and ancestors have been in captivity. She just looks so wild. She's quick to react. She's got crazy eyes, crazy focus. I love it. My favorite thing about Varys is that he's a big, pretty boy. Like, he's so gorgeous, and also, like Brienne, he's got, like, crazy eyes. And it's funny because they came from the same person, like, that was rehoming them, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but they both have crazy eyes. My favorite thing about Vash, which is my fiance's gecko, is that he's very easy to care for. He's a lot like Fritz in that his behavior and his food habits are constant and consistent, and I really love that because my other geckos throw me for a loop, but Fritz and Vash I can count on. Vash is also very friendly, like easygoing nature, and I love that. My favorite thing about Myrcella is her willfulness, and also she's a very good escape artist. She just like has an opinion and she's vocal and she lets you know when she's not feeling a certain way or when she is feeling a certain way. When she escapes her enclosure, she was running down this hallway and my sister found her and was like, Jessica, your gecko is out. And this is years ago. And when I came to pick her up, she screamed at me. She was like, absolutely not human. I am free. I do not want to be put back in this enclosure. Something I admire about her is that she's very strong and opinionated. My favorite thing about Eddard is that he's, first of all, so adorable, and he's a sweetheart. Like, he's such a good little boy. Like, he's just this, gives me this, like, soft, lovely energy. Like, he's just so good. He's so wholesome. My favorite thing about Merlin is his, like, really unique appearance. He's got gorgeous red eyes. He's got his little elf ears, which are, like, pointed. And he's also, like, really active and really curious. My favorite thing about Sam is her resilience and her like fighting instinct of not wanting to die, basically, because I got her as a rescue with her sister Gilly, and both of them I admire for their resilience and their persistence in wanting to live. But even throughout years of having their syndrome, like, they're just dedicated to like continuing to be strong and alive, and I really admire that in them. Like I said, for Sam, I admire Gilly's resilience, but also Gilly has like the most beautiful tail I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like, it is the perfect shape, it is the perfect color, it's beautiful. Also, Sam and Gilly both have crowns on top of their head, like little purpley crowns, and I think that's so cute. Something I love about Tywin is that he's very patient. Tywin has a lot of reproductive health problems, and so I have to kind of like handle him and toy with him in like an area where obviously he doesn't want me to be. And he's really patient. He's never screamed at me. He's never tried to bite me. And I just really admire that about him, that he's so patient and just, you know, lets me get done what needs to get done. He's also huge, and I love that he's just like this big, massive gecko who's also so patient and gentle. My favorite thing about Margaery is that she looks like a baby dinosaur. Margaery, I always call her my baby dinosaur or my baby velociraptor. She just looks like a baby dinosaur, and she always has, and she didn't even outgrow that when she finally started growing, because she has stunted growth, so she's really small. But when I got her, she was a lot smaller, but like she never grew out of that looking like a baby dinosaur, and I love it. When it comes to Arya, I absolutely love her like alien looking eyes and her dark brown spots all over her body. Also, she's a really good little body shape. Like, she's just a cute little gecko. My favorite thing about Benjen is his unique, precious face. He's just so beautiful, and he also does this thing where he like slithers on the ground a bit. I don't know why he does that, but it's very weird and very funny. My favorite thing about Lyanna, and this one was a bit of a challenge because Lyanna hates my guts, so I spend the least amount of time with her as possible because she just does not enjoy me. But my favorite thing about Lyanna is that she changes color, and like obviously she doesn't really change color, but like depending on like the lighting and like the time of day and her body temperature, like she just looks different. So like sometimes she looks kind of pale, like with like whitish yellow tones, and then sometimes she looks brown or like even gray. She changes color drastically, I feel like, and also she changed color from when she was a baby to what she is now too. So I just really like that about her. What's not to love about Tormund? Tormund is beautiful, cute, interactive, and she's so very animated. Like her face just is like a cartoon character. My favorite thing about Melisandre is her hunger, and not just her hunger for food, but her hunger to live, because she has Enigma syndrome and it's pretty bad and it gets worse every year, but like she hasn't given up yet, and I'm not giving up on her, so I really admire that about her. And I also love her red eyes. Like Merlin, she has the full red eyes and they're just absolutely stunning. My favorite thing about Jojen is that he's like this big giant gecko, and he's also so shy and easily spooked. Like, he is a huge gecko who could have like a real domineering attitude, but instead he's like, shy boy, gentle, don't come near me, and he just like runs away if anything happens too fast near him. My favorite thing about Meera is her very unique appearance. She has stunted growth, so she's small, but she also has underdeveloped eyelids that have given her very unique looking eyes because they're partially covered with skin. And then also her markings are really gorgeous. She's a white and yellow Max Snow. She has like a giant orange paradox spot right in the middle of her head. I mean, she's just really unique looking. Like, her tail markings are gorgeous. Also, she has like a really cute little face. My favorite thing about Ygritte is that she is small, but she's so strong. Like, she always pounces the door when I walk by because she just wants food that bad. And like, she's just like a lot of energy in a small package. My favorite thing about Viserion is that he's really motivated. He constantly stalks me in this pet room, and he also like stands and looks down at me while I am like moving around the pet room feeding geckos while he waits for his turn. Also, he's obviously stunning. Like, he's just beautiful. He's a good looking little gecko. I also like that he's one of the few geckos that actually enjoys being out and about. Like, if you watch my videos or my live streams, it's usually Viserion who comes out, because when I'm in this room, he's generally curious about what I'm doing, and so if I'm live streaming, then I let him come out and hang out with me. My favorite thing about Roz is that even though she's like this dainty, cute little girl, she's like got a huge appetite and like really puts the effort in to get food. She also has orange markings on the inside of her eyelids, and I like to call that her like little orange eyeliner. My favorite thing about Rhaego is he's so resilient. He's so brave. Like, he has faced so much in his little life so far, and he just like keeps coming back, no problems. Give me the food, I'm ready for another day. Like, he's just so strong, and I really admire that in him. Also, he's adorable beyond words. Like, he's so cute. When I look at him, I know that he's like truly one of a kind. Like, I've never seen a gecko that looks like him. I've never seen a gecko that's faced as much as him. Like, just, he's truly one of a kind. Something I love about Elia is, like the Enigmas and Rhaego, is her strength. You know, she was really poorly kept, not by her previous owner, but the one before, and she was cohab with a male gecko, and they were so poorly kept that they became malnourished, had stuck shed, metabolic bone disease, like the worst of the worst. And Elia, like, had to be taught to eat again. Like, she had to first be on a liquid diet and then go to being tongue fed. And then now, like, if I put the insect on the ground, she hunts it herself. But, like, there's a lot to be said for the fact that she was, like, unwilling to give up, and that she was so strong and was like, okay, you know, we're gonna live another day. Me and my other gecko, we're gonna live another day. And even when she was in that horrible situation, and then of course after the horrible situation when she was rehabilitated, it's just admirable, you know, that she has faced so much and she was like still kicking, you know. And right now, even though her bones are misshapen and she's just a bit, you know, special needs because of that, like she can't have substrate, for example, she needs a little bit of assisted shed from time to time, she's got a vigor for life. She likes to climb, and she really likes to hunt insects, like she likes to run them down. And so even with having the disability that she has, you know, there's still so much personality in her, and I really like that. Also, she dropped her tail, and the way it grew back is like so chunky and so funny looking, and I like that too. My favorite thing about Karsi is that her affection had to be earned. Like, it took so long, like a solid year, for Karsi to like start coming around to me and being like, okay, like I'll come out and see you when you have food. Because I used to have to like beg her to come out. I used to have to like hold the insect at the mouth of her cave with the tongs and be like, come on now, time to eat. And she would only eat one, and then I'd have to like kind of bribe her to take another, and sometimes she would, sometimes she wouldn't. So I was just like, after a year of having her, she finally started to come around and be, you know, more interested in me. And I feel like it took all that time to earn her interest and her affections, and so I admire that in her, that she made me work for it. My favorite thing about Theon is his big black eyes. He has like perfectly circular eyes, which I honestly think they're probably quite misshapen, but he has like perfectly circular eyes, and they're black. Like, it's kind of like Arya's, but even more cartoon-like on him. My favorite thing about Alysanne is that she's quick to adapt. You know, she came from a rescue situation, and then she was sent here, so she had like a lot of movement in her life in a short period of time. And she just like never stopped. She was like, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna explore, I'm gonna live my best life. You know, she didn't really like take a hit at all. She just like kept going with the punches, and she's quick to adapt, and I admire that. My favorite thing about Kinvara is that she's strong. She's a little gecko, just like Roz, but has a big energy in that body. She's also super cute. Like, she's just got an adorable face. My favorite thing about Tyrion is that he's like soft and slow and sweet and gentle, but also that he's like a digging machine. Like, the way he chucked dirt in his enclosure, and I didn't really anticipate this from him, but he's like just a mad digging fool. He made me earn his affections. Like, it took a while for him to warm up to me, so I really appreciate that he finally did. My favorite thing about Meraxes, who you guys haven't met yet, is that she is fearless, she's stoic, she's kind of intimidating. Like, nothing frightens her. If I move around in front of her enclosure, she doesn't like have a big reaction of like, oh, food, or oh, human. She just kind of watches me, and like, she doesn't mind when I open the door to her enclosure. She doesn't run away, she doesn't move, she doesn't flinch, nothing. I mean, she is like fearless, like a statue, stoic. She's also massive. Like, she's big. She's a Eublepharis and Germanius, so she's bigger than leopard geckos, but she's big. Like, you can tell just by looking at her, she's got some weight to her. And yeah, she's really cool. So this is Aegon, and he's a baby gecko I welcomed home not too long after filming this video. Aegon has white and yellow syndrome, as well as a couple of health problems that we are still working out with my vet, but I wanted to include Aegon anyway. And my favorite thing about Aegon so far is that he's actually a white gecko. For pretty much my whole entire time keeping geckos, I've wanted an all-white gecko, and I have white geckos that have patterns, and I have white geckos that turned yellowish and then turned gray, but this is an all-white gecko, and I'm hoping it stays that way, but we'll have to wait and see. My favorite thing about Nymeria, my Chinese cave gecko, is the fact that it took years for her to finally let me to tongue feed her, but now she will, which is amazing. But I love how, like, arboreal she is. I love that she will climb up the wall in her enclosure and then climb upside down on her roof. And sometimes I'll just open the door and I'll just look in her enclosure and I'm like, where is she? And then I look up and she's hanging upside down just looking at me, like, please don't touch me. So I love that about her. And then I have 3 African fat-tailed geckos. My favorite thing about Oberyn is his willfulness, and also he is an explorer at heart. He's also like broken out of his enclosure multiple times, not this new one, but his old one. And he has been the most escapes out of all my pets, and he's gotten the furthest. So he, both times, or 3 times I think he escaped, and I couldn't figure out how. I kept replacing the lid, but then I figured out how he was escaping. He was climbing up the back and pushing the lid off and scooting out. He would like run away. Like he ran into my pet room once, and that's how I first noticed he was escaped, because I was sitting in here feeding and he just ran in, and I was like, "Sir? Hello?" Though he's a very difficult boy who also bites me from time to time and makes me bleed, I admire that he's difficult, you know? He keeps me challenged, you know? Makes me grateful for my more easygoing geckos. The thing I like most about Obella is that she is always down to eat. I mean, the moment she sees me come in the room, I'm looking over her right now. The moment she sees me come in the room, she comes right to the front of the enclosure and she's like, "Please feed me, I'm here for food." And she's really like easygoing, you know? She's always eating. I never have to like dig her out of her enclosure to try and feed her. She's easygoing, she's easy to care for, and I like that. Last but not least, I have my little baby African fat-tailed gecko, Jamie. So when I first recorded this, my favorite thing about Jamie was that he was really aggressive in a cute way. He used to like squeak and scream at me. But now he actually comes out to see me, and he doesn't fight me, and he's not afraid of me, and he'll even eat off of tongs. So my favorite thing about Jamie is his beautiful patterning and his big black eyes. He has like the most gorgeous round alien looking eyes. Are so cute. So that was me detailing all of the reasons I love my leopard geckos, like each of their individual reasons, as well as my Chinese cave gecko and my 3 African fat-tailed geckos. If you enjoyed, please let me know by leaving a like. Also subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!